What up, people? It's your boy Manny Salgado. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Manny's Mexican Minute. This time we're at KBQ, the new Korean barbecue joint that's opening up in Rockford on Riverside. Is it Rockford Loves Park? I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to take you inside, but they're not open yet. But I have an idea, because some of you guys have never tried Korean barbecue, and I love Korean barbecue. I discovered it like 20 years ago on a trip to California. And I've been searching good Korean barbecue places all over the country. So the idea that I have, I'm going to show you guys what to expect at a Korean barbecue joint. Unfortunately, no, it's not there. So just stay tuned. We're gonna go to a Korean barbecue joint, and we're gonna show you what it's about, what you can expect to order, and how to cook it, and what the whole process is like. So follow me. Okay guys, so I'm at a Korean barbecue right now, and this is the part where I tell you about the side dishes and the side portions. Now, at most Korean barbecue places, they bring you a little side piece or a little side dish of each one of these. But at this one, where I'm at, it is an actual buffet. So you can serve yourself as much of these, and I'll get to them when we're back at the table. But note, that's not going to happen at every place. I doubt that that's going to happen in Rockford, because they keep the portion control, because a lot of people, you know, they might put a lot on the plate and then not finish it. But this one is very, very, very authentic. So a lot of people that come here, they want more and more and more, so they figure, why not just put in a whole buffet so you can grab as much as you want. And I think that's awesome. So follow me. We're gonna go back to the table and we're gonna get cooking. All right, people. So we're finally inside. I just got back from the buffet, and again, let me just reiterate the fact that every Korean barbecue place is different. Some of them are all you can eat. Some of them are a la carte. I love the all you can eat ones. I have a very strong feeling that the one in Rockford is going to be all you can eat. Everything is great. Thank you. I have a very strong feeling that everything in Rockford is going to be all you can eat. I hope it is anyway, because that's a smarter way to go when a lot of people in the area aren't used to it. This one recently became all you can eat. This one is in Niles, right behind the old mega restaurant that I grew up working at and visiting. But again, not every Korean barbecue is going to be have the buffet for this stuff. All of them are going to have some kind of barbecue here, which I'll get to in a minute. But just so you know, some of the sides, we got kimchi flavored or kimchi pickled cucumber. We got fish cake. We got japchae or buckwheat noodles, depending on the place. Okay, you got your green beans. You got cucumbers. My wife over here, she got a little bit more. We got noodles. We got this is edamame, delicious edamame. And the cool thing is, let's say you don't want it cold, you can actually take some green beans and throw them on the grill. Do I recommend that for everybody? No, but it's up to you. I do it, but then again, I've been coming to these places for 15, 20 years. So when it comes to this, that's another thing. Not every restaurant is going to cook for you. Some of the Korean barbecue places, like in Vegas and California and Phoenix, they actually sit there and cook for you. But when they do that, when they're working harder for you, you're going to expect a higher gratuity, which is not a problem. But in most places, especially the authentic ones, they leave you to cook, because then you decide how much you're going to cook them. Do you want them rare? Do you want them still moving on there? You know, do you want them crispy? And that's the thing. Now, another thing is the menu. So if Teresa could, like this one, this option is $28, and it includes all these meats, right? This one is $38, and it includes all these meats. These are your premium cuts of beef. These are your premium, you're gonna get a lot more seafood on here, squid, wine pork belly, the beef intestine, chicken gizzards, right? I don't think we're gonna get that in Rockford. You never know. They might put it on the menu. We don't know yet, right? But for the time being, I'm gonna give you the 3 staples, which is what we have here. This one is the beef Bilogi. The beef Bilogi is a staple. You always want to try the beef Bilogi. You also want to try the brisket and the pork belly. Pork belly, this is the pork belly right here. Now this is a thicker cut pork belly. Okay? Not every place does a thicker cut. Some of them do a thin cut. Some of them you just tell them what you want. So we don't know exactly what to expect in Rockford. Okay? But I will tell you this, no matter what, especially for my people that are on the keto diet, if you want rice, if you want veggies, and you want meat, Korean barbecue is definitely something you want to do. And I will warn you, whatever you do afterwards, you're going to smell like it. Because right now, even though this exhaust fan is sucking everything up, the smell is permeating throughout the room. So, I'm going to leave you guys with that for now. I'm going to keep explaining some stuff. Maybe I'll rattle my brain and see if I forget anything. For the time being, I'm going to check on this. We're going to eat a little bit, and then we're going to throw some more stuff on. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So, one of the other staples that Korean barbecue has is going to be cheese corn. Cheese corn is very similar to elote. I don't know why. It's just cheese and corn, right? Some places will drop mayonnaise on there, especially if they see a beaner like me coming through the door. But it's very similar taste to elote, to Mexican corn in a cup, right? But there's no mayonnaise, there's no lime, and there's no chili. It's just the cheese and it's creamy and whatever, right? Another thing that you're gonna get at Korean barbecue is gonna be your dipping sauces. Okay? So these dipping sauces is gonna vary from restaurant to restaurant, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to get your sesame seed oil with salt. You're going to get a combination of soy sauce or like a bang sauce or something like that, and then always one of my favorites, the red bean paste. Okay, now in this case, the way I was taught by a Korean, see the steak is getting nice and charred and crispy. I like it like that. Teresa likes it a little bit less crispy. Thank you. All right, you guys. Taking a really quick, brief intermission, going to the restroom. There's a line at the restroom, but that being said, I want you to subscribe. Subscribe, Mannys Mexican Minute on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Add me on Facebook. Like it. Follow on Facebook. And not just Mannys Mexican Minute, but remember, we're also the people behind Tamale Fest of Rockford, the Tamale Festival in Rockford, Illinois. This year it's going down September 10th, 2022. We already have the date. It's only January 2nd or something like that. So we're really excited. We're going to make a really good event this year. And it's also the 5th anniversary of the Miracle Mile car show that we're a part of. So make sure you follow the Miracle Mile. As always, eat local, shop local, buy local, or buy local. So remember to follow your boy, Mannys Mexican Minute, Tamale Fest of Rockford. Join the Rockford and State Line Foodie Group, and let's get back to the food. Okay, so the waitress doesn't know English very well, which that's going to happen at restaurants, okay? That is going to happen at a lot of Korean barbecue restaurants. It happens to me all the time. But she was just excited, and she just was asking. Anyway, so here's how a Korean taught me to have Korean barbecue. So once you have your meat, you're gonna have your dipping sauce. This is one of my favorites. You hang it over the rice, you let the sauce marinate the rice a little bit. And the rice is gonna be sticky, okay? It's not gonna be like, if it's not sticky, it ain't right. So, I grabbed too big of a piece of meat. Let me start over. Anyway, so you're gonna do that, and in it goes. And you basically hover over your little rice bowl, right? Now, not everybody does that, and I understand that. That's why a lot of these places have these big plates, because you have your meat, you have your rice, and a lot of these guys, they just dump it on there and do all this and that. I like the way that we do it. So you grab your meat, You dunk it in the sauce that you want, okay, depending on whatever, and then it goes. Simple. That's so good. So good. Another thing you have to remember, you should designate who's going to be the one cooking. Let me tell you, as a cook, I love to cook, but when we're at Korean barbecue, if we're around friends that don't know what they're doing, obviously I do it all the time. But if it's me and Teresa, I like to let her cook, because once you're cooking, like right now, we gotta flip this, right? You take that puppy. So if it doesn't come up, don't force it. You see how it doesn't come up there? If it doesn't come up, don't force it. Let it sit there. And by the way, you're always going to get tongs and you're going to get scissors. Scissors so that you can cut it. I'm sure we'll tune in on that again. I am going to throw another one of these on there though. Another bit of advice, now that I'm thinking about it, another thing of advice is that you don't want to order too many meats. You want to take it one by one, or like we know our limit. Usually we get 3 or 4 portions because they're pretty big portions. You know, that bacon or the pork belly is pretty thick,
take forever.
Right? Plus the meat that we already have, you're going to get full really fast, especially when you have all the little condiments, right? The fish cake, what I like to do is you take that in between bites or as you're waiting for more meat to cook. And that's cold, by the way. That's cold. But something like the green beans, you want to throw a green bean on there and let it warm up or something, feel free to do so. It's your table, it's your grill. But just don't forget not to order too many meats, because some places, we don't know if it's going to happen at the one in Rockford, some places will charge you for what you don't eat, and this stuff can get really pricey. We were at another restaurant in Vegas and it was $39 a pound of beef Bilogi. That's just the beef Bilogi. And we opted to pay in the premium portion, which was $89 a person. Now, we don't know what prices they're going to have at the one in Rockford. We don't know how extravagant they're going to go. I will say this, we've been to the pricier ones in Chicago. I wouldn't do those again. I like the $20, $30, or the $30, $40 range ones, the $50 range ones. Those are perfect for you beginner barbecue, Korean barbecue people. Once you get into the pricier stuff, you're going to be scared to try stuff, and then is it really going to be good? Like baby octopus, baby squid, lamb, eel, the Kobe beefs. Those are always great, but you're paying a premium price for the weirder meats, you know, or the stuff we're not used to, I should say. So keep that in mind, and always just order enough portions, just and take it slow. Take your time. It's an experience. It's not just food. So always remember that, okay? Stay tuned. We're going to keep eating, and we're going to keep talking. And put it on there. All right, guys. So it's time to flip this last one. We're going to flip. Bingo. Now this one, that's the first one we put on. And Teresa's getting hungry behind me. So we're going to grab it. And just like this, you're going to cut bite-sized pieces, right? You want to cut bite-sized pieces. And when you're cutting, you're also going to see if it's cooked all the way, if it's tender enough, you know what I mean? So I like to cut it, let it sit in there a little bit. And is that to your liking, Therese?
A little bit longer for me.
A little bit longer. She likes it crispy. We're going to cook that one crispy. And again, if it doesn't move, don't pull it. Once you got to remember that with meat, especially on the grill, or in this case on a grill flat top. If you have to force it, it's not ready to go yet. But yeah, simple cutting technique. Okay. All right. So this one is the iconic beef Bilogi. Okay. If you are ever in an area where they have beefalo on the menu, you must try the beefalo. It is tender, it is marinated. Most of the time, and especially in restaurants like this, they marinate it overnight, sometimes twice or 2 nights, because the more it's marinated, the more tender it gets. So it's very, very tender. It's going to melt in your mouth, and it wouldn't be fair if I didn't show you the beefalo being cooked. So with this one, you do not want to make this one crispy, okay? For the pork belly or for the brisket, okay. All right, thank you. So for the beef brisket, you know, it's to your own tasting. But for beef Bilogi, you want to make sure that it's barely cooked, because that sauce is where it's at, man. That sauce. And I don't suggest dipping it in anything. Obviously, you're going to do what you want, right? But it has a very good flavor. It is a little on the sweet side, but I'm not talking, you know, it's not barbecue sweet. But it is on the sweeter side. It's a very delicate, floury, not flowery. Yeah, it's very aromatic. Long story short, those of you that know, that have had beefalo, I know Vinny and Amanda are probably like, man, you had to show the beefalo. Anyway, it's everybody's. From my personal experience, everybody I've ever brought to Korean barbecue has loved the beefalo. I have friends that go to Korean barbecue and that's all they order. So, you want to, and we're probably going to be able to cook this all in just one take. As you can see here, if Teresa can shine some light on there. I'm going blind over here. And most of the time, you guys, most of the time when the staff sees that you're throwing this on, they're going to lower the temperature, low and slow, right? They're going to lower it for you. 99% of the time, don't mess with it. Don't mess with those dials. Leave them alone. They know what they're doing. And they're very attentive. Whenever they see that these discs are getting too dirty, they swap them out for you. They'll ask you in between, especially if you're going to do like chicken, squid, and beef, you're going to not want to put those all on at the same time. Obviously, I should have mentioned that earlier. Cross-contamination, you do not want salmonella. You do not want to get sick, because at one of these places, it's on you. You're the one cooking it, right? So they keep an eye on that. They swap them out. Do one meat type at a time. If you're going to do pork and you got several types of pork, the pork belly, the wine belly, whatever, or the pork tips, then you can throw those on at the same time. But when you're doing Bilogi, make sure nothing else is on there. Make sure you have a clean grill, okay? So I think this is pretty much done. That means it's time for me to eat. And yes, you've seen me and Teresa eat all this meat. But look at this. This is where these come in handy, okay? One of my favorites is the fish cake, the japchae clear noodles, okay? You haven't lived until you've had some japchae, all right? This is a little too spicy for me today. 10 years ago, I would have tore that whole thing up and some. But you want to have this because of all that meat you're having. This is going to help throw that along. That's why they eat a lot of kimchi. It's fiber. It's good for the gut. It's going to create all those enzymes it needs to be able to tear down all that meat in your stomach. So make sure you get some of this. Don't just go to a Korean barbecue joint and just eat the meat and rice. Don't do that. Don't be an American. You know what I mean? Have the side dishes, man. Venture out. Again, it's not just dinner. It's an experience. So I'm going to eat me some more. Stay tuned. We'll keep this party going. I think that's about it. I don't know if I'm missing anything else, Reese.
I
think I covered all the bases, the staples anyway. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that the place in Rockford opens up soon. And I hope that you like what I'm doing. And if you do, please like, share, support, subscribe. We're going to put this on YouTube first. We'll eventually put it in Rockford and State Line Foodie Group on Rockford. And on Facebook, sorry. I know it's not a Rockford restaurant. I don't want anybody giving me any shit for it. but it's because I want you guys to know what to expect out of a Korean barbecue, especially for so many people that have never done that. So remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share, and as always, eat local, okay? Keep eating local. But I'll leave you guys with that. Until next time, people, love, peace, and taco grease.